Shalom. Before I begin, I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Ahch by Hashem Ahch and around the city apostles and elders, great millstone. And shalom to the Ahch teachings, word, the four corners, and true sincerity. I'm back with another lesson. The spirit of prayer of Yahweh by Hashem Ahch by Hashem Ahch and around the city apostles and elders, great millstone. And shalom to the Ahch teachings, word, the four corners, and true sincerity. I'm back with another lesson. All right, through the spirit of Yahweh, Lord willing to be edifying unto the elect. All right, before I get into the lesson, the true name of God is Yahweh, which means He is or He exists. The name of His Son is Yahweh Shai, which means He saves or He delivers. All right, we are living in the last days. That's how you see, so much going on in the world, and that's why you feel, what's going on in the world so hard, because again, we are living in the times of great prophecy coming to pass, and we're coming into the close of Esau Edom's, rulership. All right, who is Esau Edom? Your so-called Caucasian, your so-called white, people. That's the nation of Edom. Those are the Edomites, and they have been given the dominion of the earth. All right, that's why you see America can go to any other nation, do whatever the fuck they want, take what they want, and then come back as if nothing happened because they are in control. That's why you see when there's a national, so-called national pandemic, they can shut down the earth. That's why you see as you pay taxes and as you gotta go to work, you gotta pay these, certain bills or do certain things. Have to drive with a license because Esau Edom's in rulership, and that's why you see your food is poison, the air quality is poison. All right, your mental states. It's horrible because Esau Edom's is our rulership. That's how he conducts. That's how he rules the earth. That's why you see wickedness is at an all-time high. That's why you see people can eat whatever they want. All right, sleep with whoever they want. If a man can be with a man, a woman can be with a woman, an adult can be with a child. All right, and there's really no repercussions for it because Esau allows these different things. A man can be with a dog. A woman can be with a animal. You can call yourself a tree. You can identify as a tree. A man can identify as a female. A woman can identify as a male. The earth is completely twisted. And, I don't want to get too much into it because that's not the topic of this lesson. Right? But really the topic of this lesson is more of an exhortation. All right? To, us in the truth. All right? So, you're doing a good job. All right? You're doing a good job. Okay, because we be so much in in your head, you'll be thinking like you're not doing enough, and really we really can't doing enough, but really do to your measure. All right, and stay on top of that. Speaking to myself first and foremost, do to your measure what you are able to do. All right, what the Lord has given you to do, because we are not given the same amount of work. All right, going back to the parable with the talents. All right, don't try to compare yourself to, the apostles and elders. You just coming in the truth, 3 years, for you in the truth 5 years, 10 years, you trying to compare yourself to the apostles and elders. All right, they've been doing this for 40 plus years, 30 plus years, 20 plus years, more than I've been alive. You trying to compare yourself to these men. Lord has given you that measure for a reason. He's given you what you are able, to handle. All right, Lord not gonna give us nothing that we can't handle, whether it be with a trial or whether it be with a talent, all right, or a gift. All right, using the topic of the video, the apostles are able to do 4, 5, 3 videos, in a day consistently. All right, that may not be you. You can't do that. You probably could do 2 a day. All right, or 1 a day. Okay, you may skip a day or 2. All right, but you still meet up to your measure that you're able to handle. And everybody's situation, all right, is different. So when you examine yourself, don't try to examine yourself in a negative light, because you're going to talk about examine, but don't only examine yourself in a negative light. All right, let me get started with that first. In Corinthians, I'm gonna get the blue letter. 2 Corinthians 13:5, it says, examine yourselves whether you be in the faith, prove your own selves. Know you not your own selves, how that Yahweh Shai Mashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates. Right, it says, but I trust that ye shall know that ye are not reprobates. All right, so examine yourself. All right. In the NLT, it says, examine yourselves to see if your faith is genuine. Test yourselves. Surely you know that the Yahweh Shai Mashiach is among you. If not, you have felt the test of genuine faith. As you test yourself, I hope you will recognize that we have not failed the test of apostolic authority. All right, so examine yourself. Let's go into the word examine. It means to try whether the thing can be done for purpose of ascertaining his quality or what he thinks or how he will behave himself in a good sense. All right, so examine yourself in a good sense. All right, it says in a bad sense to test one's maliciously, craftily to put to prove his feelings or judgments, to test one's faith, his character, all right, his virtue by enticement of sin. All right, to try whether thing can be done, attempt to endeavor. It says assay, endeavor, scrutinize, entice, discipline, assay, examine, go about, prove, tempt. Google says inspect, test, inspect in detail to determine their nature or condition, investigate thoroughly. All right, again, we're not perfect. All right, examine yourself thoroughly. Make sure where you fucking up at and where you're doing good at. But when you're doing good, give yourself a pat on the back. All right, because it's doing you better than not. You only focusing on the bad part. All right, and something you probably bad at, that's probably not what the Lord wants you to do. All right, if you're doing something this way, you're doing it good. Don't try to switch it up and focus on what you bad at. The Lord ain't want you to do that. He gave you this gift to do this. All right, you good at that, you do that. All right, don't try to put so much on your own shoulder. You will end up fucking it all up. It's a quote in the world. All right, basically trying to be the master of being a master of all things rather than just being a master of one, because you can't master everything if you don't even got the one thing that you get at down. All right, if you get at one thing, then you can move on. But like one thing you're doing good, give yourself a pat on the back. All right, because again, we're not all given the same portion. All right, when you go to Matthew 25, so you had someone got the 10, what it talks about 10, 5, 1. All right, 2 says 5, 2. So like I said 10, 5. All right, 2. All right, 1. It's different. Matthew 25 and 20, he says, and so he that have received 5 talents came and brought over other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. So that 5 you got, work with what you got and double it. All right, says his Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee rule over many things. Enter down to the joy of that Lord. All right, so because he was able to double his talent, he still will get rewarded. It says, he also that had 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou hast delivered unto me 2 talents. Behold, I gained two other talents beside them. His Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I'll make thee ruler over many things. Enter down to the joy of that Lord. Like, man, what the fuck? Why you only got 2 talents? The other guy, the other brother, right? He got 5. Why you get 5? All right, basically almost tripling his talent. But the Lord didn't ask you to do that. He gave you, there's a reason why it's different amounts. The Lord gave you 2, just double that. If he give you 1, double that. If he give you 0.5, double that, right? If the Lord gave you amount that you can, a measure that you can handle. All right. It says, where was that? Shit. Where was that? It's like 24. It says, then he which had the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew that thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid. Right, it's the wicked nigga. Right? It says, and I was afraid and went and hid thy talent into the earth. Lo, that there thou hast this in time and dying, as Lord Anthony said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knowest that I reap where I sow not, and gather where I have not straw. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money in the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received mine with usury. Take therefore the talent from him and give it unto him that had 10 talents. For every slacking. For unto everyone that had shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But for him that had not shall be taken away even that which he have. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. All right. Okay, so again, we all have different talents. Some brothers may have more than you. All right, but do what you good at. All right, don't be comparing yourself. All right, because it could happen. You know, you looking at another brother, he doing better than you, but you doing what you supposed to do. So we really all doing good. All right. Just gonna talk about cast away, those thoughts. In 2nd Esdras 14 and starting 14, it says, let go from the mortal thoughts and cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. That's really a weak nature. Why you always putting yourself down? You're supposed to be a man of the Lord. All right, you're supposed to be strong and a sound mind. All right, it says, set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. All right, so put away those heavy thoughts that are heavy unto thee, because it could fuck with you. You thinking you're not doing good enough. Oh, I'm not good enough. You sobbing and shit. That's weak, man. That's weak. That's weak nature. Right? That's weak nature. I was gonna say something that just slipped my mind. Damn. Right, where I just thought about Shemal Shai. Right, you put in, and it really don't even be you. It just be Satan. So you just gotta rebuke Satan. All right, because Satan, you really think it's you talking? Nah, Jake. That's saying in your mind. You thinking it's you. That's saying in your mind you're not doing good enough. Oh, brother, you're not doing good enough, brother. You know what? This brother doing more than you. You're not doing good enough. The Lord, y'all not the same. We are not the same. We all needed, but we not the same, and we ain't all given the same measure. That's why there's order. That's why there's order to certain things. All right. A brother that just came in ain't finna be the head of the camp. He only got one talent. The Lord ain't put him in charge. All right, so of course he's not gonna be doing what the head gonna be doing, and the head not gonna be doing what the lower man gonna be doing. But they doing what they supposed to do in the eyes of Yahweh Shemal Shai. All right. So we can't let thoughts like that, fuck with us while we in this truth. All right. As long as you ain't preaching in another name, as long as you ain't, twisting the doctrine, you doing what you're supposed to do, you good. All right. You praying to the name of Yahweh Shemal Shai. All right. You doing what you got to do throughout the week. All right. Give praises to the Lord. Okay. With that alone, this lesson was edifying. I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Kakwadash, and the honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone. And shalom to the Ahch teaching his word throughout the four corners. In truth, sincerity, shalom.